morning, we are CIRAT, the Elementary Computer and Robotic Club, and we are representing Colombia, the most beautiful country in South America.
Colombia has an area of 1,142,000 square kilometers and population of 50 million inhabitants.
Team is from Bogota, the capital of Colombia, a city located in the Andes mountain range at 2,600 meters high.
Including the metropolitan area, about 9 million people live in our city, and it is one of the 40 largest cities in the world.
Of these 40 cities, there are barely 10 that do not have a subway system, and Bogota is one of them.
Bogota has the second longest extra travel time in the world due to congestion.
The cost of the extra time that people spend in traffic jams is almost $5 billion per year.
Bogota also has environmental problems caused by vehicles because in more than half the city the levels of particulate material are too high.
For this reason, our project is to find a solution for the problem of congestion, pollution, and carbon footprint in Bogota.
We used the design thinking methodology, a method to generate innovative ideas in the following 5 steps. 1. Identify a problem. 2. Identify a solution. 3. Share the proposed solution with other people. 4. Prototype the solution. And 5. Prepare a presentation.
To identify the problem, all the team members read the book The Triumph of the Series by Edward Glaser.
We also invite 7 experts from the Institute of Urban Studies at the National University of Colombia, which is one of the 10 most important in Latin America. We learned the role of the cities in the history and culture of the world, the importance of public spaces, the Internet of Things, and the use of artificial intelligence in the cities, and we deepen our knowledge of Bogota, its history, its challenges, and strengths.
With these inputs, a brainstorm session, and a subsequent vote, we define the following problem: how to improve mobility, reduce pollution caused by vehicles, and reduce the carbon footprint in Bogota.
Vehicles generate air pollution including carbon monoxide, nitric oxide, and particulate matter. The latter can lead to serious effects on people's health, especially respiratory conditions.
For every liter of gasoline consumed by a car, 2.3 kilograms of carbon dioxide are produced, which is one of the causes of global warming. According to the 2019 Bogota Mobility Survey, there are 2,440,000 vehicles, which are mostly private cars and motorcycles.
Bogota is one of the most congested cities in the world. The problem is caused because a significant percentage of trips are made in private vehicles, 18% in cars and 6% in motorcycles.
Economist Anthony Downs showed us that building more roads is useless because soon after the number of vehicles increases without congestion decreasing. But there is hope. More than 36% of trips are made on public transport buses and almost 7% by bicycle, which are sustainable means. The best way to solve the problem we have posed would be for people to use public transport and bicycle more.
We traced and consulted an extensive bibliography, and after a brainstorm, we agreed the solution was the private cars and motorcycles should be charged for the vehicular congestion and the pollution they cause, and for the carbon footprint they produce. We have called this idea congestion, pollution, and carbon footprint charging, and it seeks for drivers to pay for externalities, that is, the hidden costs generated by the society.
Similar ideas, but not the same as ours, have been successfully implemented in cities such as London, Singapore, and Stockholm. This practice leads to a reduction in vehicular congestion, improved travel times, and the city generates economic resources that can be used to subsidize public transport.
To validate our idea, a meeting with experts who has done a numerous studies on public transport issues, they agreed make people pay for the externalities they cause. It's a best solution.
We socialized our idea by designing a survey that we gave to 90 people, asking if they would be willing to pay to have faster journeys, less pollution, and decrease global warming. The results surprised us because almost 40% of people say no, but after a review of the international experiences, we understood that this has happened in other parts of the world. In Edinburgh, people put against implementing these types of charges, but only because they didn't understand the benefits. However, in Stockholm, at first, people were against it, but they implement a pilot program so that people will try it out and then people vote for it.
That means that our implementation of our idea for charges of congestion, pollution, and carbon footprint is not only a technological project, but also a project of citizen culture and social innovation, where we have to explain to the people that by thinking about their others, we can all live better, have more time, breathe clean air, and reduce our carbon footprint.
Our idea has three innovative components who make it innovative. One, it is new to our city. Two, in addition to congestion charge, there are changes for pollution and carbon dioxide emissions, which will depend on the type of the vehicle. And three, it requires an innovative for the people of Bogota to accept it. An expert told us that Bogota's main problem is the lack of an ability to agree to achieve common goals.
We decided to design a prototype to see how our idea could be implemented in reality. We'll use urban infrastructure that detects the entry of vehicles to areas of the city where charges for congestion, pollution, and carbon footprint will apply. Each vehicle has a radio frequency transmitter that uniquely identifies it, and there is a database that contains information on what type of vehicle it is. For example, car or motorcycle, public or private, gasoline or electric.
To make this prototype, we used Lego and we modeled a motorway using a conveyor belt system which is driven by two independent motors which have access to these reduction boxes. The motors are driving but are remote control, which is why we added an infrared sensor. Then we made models in Lego that represent buses, gas cars, electric vehicles, and motorcycles. In each one, we put a near field radio frequency identification circuit.
There is also a structure that contains two modules based on Arduino, one for each lane. These detect the passage of the vehicles, identify them, and send the information to the Arduino card, which, through a program, decides whether to apply the charge or not. Each vehicle has a 4-byte number that is detected by the near-field receiving board and centralized in this Arduino Type 1. In programming, libraries were stated to simplify the code and intensive use of variables, loops, and conditionals. Once each vehicle is identified, the corresponding charge is debited from a virtual wallet. This PC simply serves as a screen because the logic is executed in the Arduino Type 1. We can see how when the bus passes there is no charge. When the electric vehicle passes, only the congestion charge applies. When the gasoline car passes, it is a charge for congestion, pollution, and carbon footprint. and when the motorcycle passes, the 3 charges apply, but are worthless.
This project can change life in the cities like Bogota. The use of the vehicles that generate the most the make of and obtain income in intelligence to improve the public transport and the great quality of life.
En el computador, en donde está toda la programación de Arduino, podremos ver cómo cuando el emisor tipo PIC pasa por debajo de las placas receptoras de Arduino, se le hace el correspondiente cobro de la billetera virtual que cada uno tiene, identificando qué tipo de vehículo es y su número serial, como mi amigo Joseph lo podrá demostrar.
Okay. Cuando los carros pasen bajo el receptor y se muestra en el computador cuando se muestra cuando se muestra acá se mostrará qué tipo de vehículo es, en qué carril va, la identificación, que sería la placa, el tipo de vehículo, ahora sí, y qué cargos se le aplican, como dijo Emilio, se le aplicarían todos los cargos y estas dos últimas líneas serían el saldo anterior, el principal, y después de que pase bajo el receptor. ¿Qué sería esto?
In some cities of the world, such as London, Stockholm, or Singapore, vehicles are currently charged for the congestion they cause. Our proposal starts from that idea but adds charging for pollution and for the carbon footprint. In this way, the use of private vehicles in general is discouraged, but the use of more environmentally efficient technologies such as electric vehicles is promoted over those of gasoline and diesel. The use of smaller vehicles such as motorcycles is promoted over the larger ones that cause more congestion, like cars. But most importantly, incentives are generated for people to prefer the use of bicycle and public transport over private motor vehicles. It should be noted that Bogota is the city in Latin America with the highest use of bicycles, and our proposal will contribute to promoting the continued growth of its.
Yes, we did a survey to 19 people, where we asked them if they are willing to pay to have more respect trips, breathe cleaner, and decrease the carbon footprint. But when we saw the results, we were surprised, since more than the 40% says not. But looking at the international experiences, we looked that the same thing happened. What we says is that this project is about citizen culture and social innovation, where we have to explain to the people that be thinking about the others, or we can live better.
Our innovation project can be brought to real life, including the deployment of urban infrastructure for vehicle detection by radio frequency identification, to use of virtual wallets to pay for the charge, the social innovations required by people to understand the environmental benefits and the improvement in the quality of life. By decrease in travel times, the measure is safe, and we think that a partial implementation in a city like Bogota will cost in the order of $40 million. Although the benefits in economic terms will be much more.